Alright, volunteer fans, listen up. Saturday, we stand on the brink of something special. This isn't just any game. We're facing off against NC State, a team that's ready to challenge us. But I know what we're capable of. And I know the heart and determination each one of you has within you. Now, we've trained hard. We've pushed through sweat and fatigue. We've lifted each other up through every obstacle. Remembering all of those early mornings and late nights we've spent preparing for moments just like these. It's all led us here. We wear the orange and white with pride, and we're ready to show what Tennessee football is all about. Now, it's not just about skill, it's about heart, teamwork, and that unmistakable Vol spirit. And we need every single one of you, from the starters to the bench warmers, to bring your A game. Trust in your training, trust in each other, and play with confidence. Because remember, this is the legacy of the Volunteers we're talking about. Saturday, we fight for every inch. We will support each other through every play, and we will rise together as one unit.
Love it. Makes me want to get on a helmet and pads and just get out there.
Where's the brick wall? Because I'm about to run through it. That was excellent. That was an excellent intro.
Yeah.
Round of applause again. There we go.
Thank you.
Ah,
I worked hard on that.
That's special. That's impressive. That was impressive.
Hey, week 2 is upon us.
It's here.
It's here. Some would say that Nico is on the cusp of superstardom.
I've heard rumblings. Different media announcers, different people, different Twitter pages talking about how, Nico come out looking like, as advertised, he looked like a $2 million a year man.
Yeah.
We seen that at Iowa when we played in the bowl game, and of course, again, we've all talked about UTC it is what it is, but you still have to pass those to the receivers. You still have to make the throw.
Dude,
that one that
the crosser route, like that deep dig route to Thornton over the middle. Dude, he didn't break stride. That
never broke stride. It was right in the bread back.
That is a wide receiver's dream ball that he just caught and high stepped to the end zone.
Yes, sir.
You couldn't ask for anything better. He was running full speed, caught at full speed, and finished full speed. He didn't have to change anything.
Nope. That's because Nico looks to be so far as advertised.
He's a menace.
He's worth every penny, that's for sure.
It certainly looks like it. And, that's not just three dudes that love Tennessee talking. I mean, let's break out and see some national media guys. They're talking all kinds of stuff about it.
I mean, you saw the quote Peter Burns gave, didn't you?
I have not.
So I'm going to read it verbatim.
Oh, okay.
The hype around...
I like Peter. Let's start. Peter knows what he's talking about.
Yeah. The hype around Nico is real, and the play of Nico is spectacular. Everything that I wanted it to be. That whole experience, to go on the Vol Walk with him, to see how he's cool, calm, and collected, that's not just QB1. That's not just one of the best QBs in the conference. That is a Heisman Trophy Award winner. He said it may not happen this year for Nico, but in Josh Heupel's offense and the amount of success they're going to have recruiting guys that can play with him and the amount of money they have going in the collective in Knoxville, I think you're going to see this kid, whether it's this year or not, he's going to win a Heisman.
And I don't think he leaves until he gets that. I think that's what he wants.
I can see it.
I think he knows he's good enough for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I wish I was, what is he, 19 years old? 20 years old?
He's probably 19.
Yeah.
I'd kill to be 19 years old making millions of dollars.
That's insane. That's so crazy.
In college, playing ball.
2 M's a year. It's, if the whole $8 million for his 4 years stands true, if that's the case, he's making 2 M's a year.
I bet he's not here for 4 years. That's just my prediction.
He ain't here for 4 years, and I almost bet you it's more than 2 M's a year between his actual NIL deal plus whatever he's getting around town and whatever else.
So we're all in agreement that Nico is the real deal.
He is
After
him.
week 1, he certainly looks like, to me, a Heisman contender.
I don't. I mean, you show me somebody that is not impressed with Nico's performance, I'll show you a liar. I mean, just right there.
Yeah, you can
Just
fool yourself.
just a bona fide hater is all it would be.
Hey, cannot say that perfectly. He is a hater, or she is a hater, if they do not watch week 1 of what Nico was able to do and put it where he was able to put it and say he's not Heisman quality.
Yeah, I
We'll
mean,
say that.
so I saw there's a stat. I forget the official name for it. I think it's turnover worthy plays or something like that. He had 0 of them, and that's just you get incomplete passes. It's like, well, was the DB in the right spot? That kind of thing. He had 0 turnover worthy plays, and from my knowledge, what I saw, he threw one bad ball, and that's because he got hit in the backside as he released it.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't seen it on Twitter yet, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's the Georgia quarterback that does SEC. Is he Aaron
Murray,
Aaron McMurray?
Aaron Murray.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Murray. Watch the clip that he goes over with Nico where he does that crossing right in the middle, and he talks about how Nico, at the beginning, looked like it was a mistake. But diving deeper into that play, he put it exactly where he wanted to, exactly when he needed to.
Yeah, he had 3
And
backers that dropped straight into coverage, and if you don't
they
put that,
never moved.
if
Those
you-
3 stayed where they were.
if
It's
you
crazy.
if you don't put that ball perfect, that's just a pick.
It's either a pick or for sure a knockdown.
Yeah,
I mean, everything he's done so far looks very impressive.
yeah, I'm happy with it, with his play in week 1 and in the bowl game. We've talked about the bowl game a bunch, but he's the only quarterback that ran the ball successfully against Iowa. So I mean,
Oh yeah,
he's got it.
yeah,
He
100%.
has the it factor.
He is the it factor, and just like some of these national media guys, and we're telling you, I would not be surprised to see him at the end of the year in Heisman contention.
Yeah,
whether he wins it or not, whether he ends up in the top 3 or not, I think at the end of the day he'll be there.
He's going to travel to New York, I think.
I don't disagree with that.
Barring injury, I think he travels.
So, speaking of which, let's talk about the guys on the receiving end, which is one of the guys I want to pinpoint is the man that Chase said needed to ball out.
I told you.
And guess who balled out?
I told you. Hey, what
Hey,
my exact words were, hey, when they moved him to the outside for the first time in that Missouri game and he popped off and then he got hurt. I'm telling you, that man
Dee Thornton
belongs
is a weapon.
on the edge. He belongs on the edge,
Weapon.
outside, and he's going to ball out for us, dude. He will ball out for us.
So take the receiving core that we thought we had, and now you just upped it. Because now you have a weapon that no one really, well, I guess the coaching staff did. Fans did not know that we had that outside weapon as good as we have it.
So
now I feel even more confident.
Going into last year, we thought he was going to be what he is right now. But
yes,
as last year progressed and he was playing in the slot on the inside, that's not where he belongs. So I think he's where he needs to be now. And Dante Thornton's he's going to be a stud for us.
Yeah, he ended up with 105 yards on 3 catches. That's impressive.
That is
3
impressive.
catches, 105 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's a nice stat line.
That's almost a perfect stat line for a receiver. He didn't have to burn his legs up. It was you can't ask for more.
Mm-mm. Nope. Samson had a good game.
He had a good game. He only carried the ball 12 times, but 124 yards, solid.
What's that? Does that math come out to about 10 yards a carry? Close to it.
Yeah. 10.3.
I mean, that's pretty impressive. You
Yeah,
can't
and
ask for much more than that.
Three touchdowns for Samson too.
I mean, again, you're going to end up. This is UT Chattanooga, so I doubt that stat line's going to be consistent week to week. But you still had to do it against that competition, and he did it.
That competition, I will add, I've got it in the notes here. You'll see it a little later when we talk about it, but I think UTC is a better football team than who NC State played, Western Carolina.
Yeah.
And they're both FCS programs.
Which is true. That is very true. And I think Tennessee handled UTC better than some of the other quote-unquote top-tier programs, or what ESPN would consider a top-tier program, handled FCS-level opponents.
Yeah, I agree.
By a good margin.
I mean, Idaho is not an FCS program, but they're not a great FBS program, and Oregon didn't take off on them like I thought they would.
Well, consider me a hater because I was kind of honing in on Colorado and North Dakota State on top of.
That's true.
You know, they didn't beat them by much.
No.
NC State did not handle Western Carolina well. Oregon did not handle Idaho well, given it is an FBS program, a lower level one, but did not handle them very well. I mean, I'm sure like Ole Miss handled. Who was it they played? It was a nobody, but they handled theirs well. Furman. So you do have those colleges that did handle their games, but there were other ones that are top tier. Like Florida State.
Don't get me started on that.
I mean, come on. Like, there are top tier programs that have absolutely poo-pooed the bed here.
Yeah. Speaking of poo-poo, do you think they ever found that guy? He's got to pay up. He's got to pay up.
That was a great transition you just made.
We're officially going to do the same thing Scott Van Pelt did. Mr. Florida Poop in a Red Solo Cup. You have to own up to it. You are now being called out by the checkerboard chat.
You have to own up. That's just
all four people are going to hear that and have to know.
The Florida State and Florida football game is going to be played on Nickelodeon at this point. Like they're not.
I did see a thing on Twitter earlier. It said the Florida State. Well, actually, first Clay Travis said if anybody wants to experience that rivalry, you can probably get tickets pretty cheap.
I guarantee it.
And then I see a second one that said Florida State and Florida will be played on Tuesday at 8 a.m. on Tubi.
Oh, man.
If you
battle which coach gets fired.
Hey, that is a solid question. Who's getting fired first?
So it's a toss-up with them two.
I think Norvell actually bought himself kind of like a throwaway year with the year they had last year. I mean, it was a perfect season.
13-0 and you didn't make the playoff.
Yeah. But that's not his fault, you know?
No, that's what I'm saying. So I agree with you. He bought himself a year by going 13-0 and then didn't make the playoff by no fault of his own.
Yep. I think this is, of course, they don't want to lose, obviously, but I think this is going to turn into a throwaway year for Norvell.
Of course, thinking back on it, we actually Scott at the hospital, me and him and Ben were talking today. I forgot the whole reason they didn't make it at 13-0. It's because their quarterback got hurt. And it was kind of like the committee said, well, you're not half the team you are with your. So it did make sense after I remembered, but the chip on the shoulder obviously did not go well. They did not carry that chip into this year.
They did not. Well, they got demolished by Georgia in the bowl game, so
they lost a ton of talent too to the draft, right?
Transfer portal draft, all of it.
I mean, it is one. It is a completely different team. Two, I do not think that having a completely different team excuses you to losing to Georgia Tech and Boston College.
No.
Not as a top 10 team anyway.
No, I don't think so.
You still had the talent on roster to beat those guys.
Yep.
So, even though we went off on that rant, it is what it is.
Let's see. James Pierce Jr. only played 10 snaps against UTC.
Great decision.
Yeah, just save him. No reason to put him in.
They were going to double and triple team him anyway.
Yeah, I mean, no reason. And Tyree West balled out, which was awesome.
Hey, not only did Tyree West ball out, Tyree West put some hits on dudes.
Yeah, he did.
That man's a monster. I did not realize he was as mean as he is. That man laid the wood to him. Somebody else is okay. So let's go. So let's do this. Week 1. Offense. Both of you give me one offensive player that you were just enamored with, like with their performance, even though it was UTC. Like, oh, hey, they balled out. They went better than I thought they did.
One offensive player?
One offensive, and then we'll go to defense. But I want to hear your offense.
It's just got to be Dante Thornton.
Yeah,
For me.
absolutely.
I mean, of course, Nico too. Just one of those two guys. I mean, they both
Well,
both
Dante
balled
doesn't
out.
have stat line without Nico, but Dante had some nice grabs and was able to use his feet. I mean, he did really well with after catching the ball.
Plenty of separation.
Yep. Who you got, Bryce?
I think I'm going. Not one of our star players, but one of our local boys, Deshaun Bishop. I mean, 5 carries for 80 yards.
There we go. There we
It's
go.
going to be a good future for him.
He should have had a whole lot more. He should have had another touchdown if he didn't trip.
Yeah, he fell for 20 yards.
Yeah, he did.
All he needed was 10 more.
Hey, how about
if he would stumbled another 5, he'd have made it.
How about the touchdown-saving tackle from Nathan Leacock?
Oh yeah,
that was nice.
That's where I was going for I guess for my defensive. Even though he's an offensive guy,
yeah, he's a receiver. He's just,
so I chase
the guy, chase him down on the pick six. So yeah,
that was a nice play.
And then the defense stopped them, and
yeah, they missed the field goal, and that never happened.
Win all
Kept
around.
7 off the board.
Yeah,
I guess my offensive player, I'm going to have to go with. I don't know. I really like the way Samson ran the ball. Of course, he is what everybody thinks he's going to be, but he looked really poised with cuts. He seen the field really well. Again, I know the competition isn't what we're going to see in the future, but I think he ran the ball well for what he was given.
Hey, and that, to add to that also came with minimal fall camp participation. They held him. They held him out of every scrimmage. They held him out of a lot of stuff just to, I guess, what you have in him, keep him fresh.
Which shows you the work that he put in on the side that no one was really watching. He still kept his body in good shape.
Yeah, he did.
124 yards on 12 carries. That's impressive.
Yeah, he was well prepared.
So who you got on defense?
It's Tyree West.
Tyree West, okay. I mean that's a good one. I mean he for real laid some wood to some dudes, made some big plays. I bet you may think I'm crazy. I would be willing to say 60% of Tennessee fans didn't really even know who he was until this game.
You're probably right. There's probably a lot of people that was like, "Who's this guy? Who's 42? Who's that?"
Tyree West?
Yeah.
He sure made a name for himself. Bryce, what you got for defense?
Defense side of the ball, I'm probably going to go with Will Brooks.
Yeah.
I mean, he had 5 tackles, 4 solo tackles. I mean, he led the team.
Yeah. A former walk-on Will Brooks starting at safety, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Sign me up.
Those
are the boys that need it. I love hearing those stories, especially when they're obviously on my team, but they want it, they're hungry.
Yeah. Hey, how about Boo Carter though?
That was going to be mine. Boo Carter was mine, but I've been high on Boo since the day he committed. I want him to be so successful, it's unreal. So he's my defensive pick.
Okay,
I'm excited.
I jumped the gun on you. I thought you were in agreement with me on Tyree.
No, I did. Yeah, him and Boo would be my top 2.
Yeah.
Either one.
I think Boo had a great game. I think he's going to earn a whole lot more playing time at the star position.
I agree. He kept a ton of really, 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 really close coverage. They didn't throw it his way a whole lot.
No, he was in the backfield quite a bit too. That position does a lot of blitz. So
really good.
I like it.
I'm impressed.
Tennessee's defense only gave up 153 passing yards and 74 rushing yards, and we passed for 414 and rushed for 304.
Quite a difference.
So 717 total yards of offense?
Yes.
That's so crazy. And Nico only played half of that.
Half.
That's so crazy.
Speaking of which, we did hit the over-under of 300 yards.
We did, yeah. None of us thought we would. We all said no.
I figured we'd been pulled before then.
What was the record he set?
314. He got about 1 yard.
Listen,
314 passing yards and a half.
How can you not just be so excited for the future?
That's so crazy. Hey, did you notice on the handshake after the game, the UTC coach told Heupel, "Don't apologize. Don't save your sorry." He said, "I get it.
No,
You got to get your guys ready. Don't apologize." Because Heupel apologized to him. Sorry, I wasn't trying to run the score up, but
no, I did not see that.
yeah, the UTC coach was saying, "Don't be sorry. This is
I
football."
did see the interview that he had today, where what I guess a UTC interviewer or media person asked the head coach. It was like, "Hey, do you think you'll see another quarterback similar to Nico?" And he said, "Well, I sure as hell hope not."
I hope not. Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, that was so that I mean, when you have other coaches hoping that they don't see somebody similar to you,
Yeah.
that tells you what you have.
Yep, that's true. All right, let's move on to the Wolfpack, the NC State. I heard they've been doing a little bit of trash talk. Their fans.
I'll be honest with you, boys. I am already so over. I want to win this game just as bad as I want to win the Florida game at this point.
Oh, that's rough.
Dude, these boys, listen. These guys have been talking. So I seen a post today that said Nico Iamaleava is the most. No, here was the exact quote. So Nico Iamaleava is a more arrogant DJ Ungalele.
No way.
What?
I swear
Absolutely
to my goodness, that's what I
Arrogant?
read on my. Yes,
Who are they watching?
that's what I'm saying. What are you seeing? So my response back was, call him arrogant if you want. Sure, whatever. $2 million man, hey, pop him up. Do whatever you want. Your receivers would pay to play for Nico. You get that?
Guarantee, yeah.
Your receivers would pay to play for Nico. So let's not even get into this whole Grayson McCall-Nico comparison.
No.
It's literally not a comparison.
Not even close.
Rant over. I'm just sick and tired of the NC State people already talking about how, one, Nico's arrogant when everything I've ever seen shows him to be a pretty humble dude.
He seems like
He's
it.
just better than you. Two, what do you even talk? Like, you have no basis of it. You're just spewing hate for no reason, and we're gonna push it in on you. And I hope to see you after.
Yeah, keep that same energy.
Yeah, please.
The fact that their safety was saying that they're going to control the tempo because they're off. Yeah, right.
That's
You're not
okay.
going. I mean,
Oh my
Dante
goodness.
Thorne's
Oh,
going to
hey,
run right by him.
Yeah.
And just,
what was it he said? Hey, a game is never as hard as our practice.
Okay, bud. All right.
Okay, that's why you played for Auburn for 3 years and never sniffed the field.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
Never sniffed the field.
That's crazy.
I think it's impossible to mimic how fast that offense
It's
truly
very-
is.
Yeah,
No,
you can't.
unless you run that offense like Tennessee does every single day, you're not going to mimic it. I don't care what you do.
There's very few teams that would be able to simulate that in practice. Like Ole Miss would be one, and some of those guys could simulate that for their defense, but most teams can't do it.
You could even take your practice squad and say, look, I need you to take a month and do nothing but focus on quick play.
Yeah.
They're still not going to be able to do it as good as
No.
we can.
No.
You can't. Otherwise, they would be the starters if they could do it as good as we. I mean, that's just facts. They can't mimic it. Matter of fact, if you watch the interview from today, their defensive coordinator said, communication is key. If we cannot communicate, we are in trouble because they go so fast. If we can't get communication down, we're hosed. And that's bad when your defensive coordinator comes up and says that on camera in front of everybody.
Yeah.
It
It's
happens
like
every
if
game.
you can't stay with it and communicate, hey, this is what we're doing, your own guy says you're host. That's bad,
That's true.
in my opinion.
All right, so we've dogged on them quite a bit here. Let's hype them up a little bit so we can tear them down again here in a few minutes.
Here we go.
So NC State has an uber talented wide receiver. Uber talented. Kevin Concepcion. And without him, they don't win that game against Western Carolina. He had three
Really?
touchdowns, 121 yards. I mean, he was Dante Thornton for them. But
But a little better.
I would argue better, yes.
Yeah.
He's
20 more yards and one more touchdown.
he's a beast. Like, he's good. We're gonna struggle to cover him. He's good.
That's not good.
And he's a sophomore, and as a true freshman, he was second on NC State for rushing. He was second on their team for rushing yards last year, behind their quarterback. So I mean, they don't have a very strong running game, which I think is going to play really good for us. I mean, Grayson McCall threw the ball 40 times against Western Carolina.
40?
40. He was 26 for 40, 318 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
And he threw the ball 40 times and only had 300. And Nico threw, what, 28 passes?
Yeah. And he threw a pick.
I'm gonna hold my thought for the last segment of this show.
When we're tearing them down?
No. For the pick segment.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna give you all a nugget off of what you just told me.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Yeah, don't be surprised if he has a big game because I believe he still will. Concepcion.
You think so?
Yeah, he's still gonna have a big game. That one player by himself will still he'll have a good game. Grayson McCall, 26 for 40, 318 yards. He showed some upside, but was fairly inaccurate, even with little to no pressure from their D-line.
Yeah. So, I mean, look at the stat line. Would you say 20-something for 40-something?
Yeah, 26 for 40.
26 for 40.
That's 60-something%.
6 passes away from being 50%.
Yeah.
I mean, that's no one, especially against Western Carolina. No one. Okay, yeah. So we got that.
Yeah. So all I gotta say is they better double James Pierce Jr. and also hope that Tyree West stays in the locker room.
Let me tell you something right now. I've already put it on Twitter. I will stand on it. I will stand on it 7 days a week. James Pierce Jr. is going to feast this game. I called it last game. It didn't happen. I think we all kind of agreed at least 2 to 3 sacks, and they just didn't happen.
He just didn't play.
The man only played 10 plays.
Yeah.
This game, James Pierce Jr. is going to feast. I'm telling you now.
I hope he does.
Here's my prediction. James Pierce Jr. is going to be on ESPN Sunday morning after this game.
I love it.
That's where I'm at.
Another guy on the receiving end for NC State last week was Justin Jolly, the UConn transfer, the tight end. Yeah, he was really close to coming to Tennessee, and word from the inside is that we didn't want him because he couldn't block, or that he didn't want to block. He wanted to be a true receiving tight end, and that's just not. We don't really need true receiving tight end.
I do remember that.
He had 5 receptions and 75 yards.
It's not a bad stat line.
Yeah, 43 yards after the catch.
So he's got footwork. He knows what he's doing unless those were like straight line runs.
Yeah, I don't really know, but he tore us up when he played for UConn last year.
Yes, because we wanted him.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted him.
I remember seeing all the Twitter like, hey, when we go get this guy?
Yeah, I thought after that game, I think I actually put it on Twitter that, dude, you're going to be in Knoxville next year. You're going to be playing here next year. And we really had a good shot at getting him, but
we just didn't know we had Ethan Davis and
Holden Stays and Miles Kitselman.
Umarov. Is he still? Yeah, Sham Umarov.
He's on the line.
Oh, I thought he came in as tight end. My bad. So what do you think?
I think we're gonna smoke them.
Okay, so here's one more thing I have to say. I don't know this guy from Adam. Don't know anything about him. Don't even really know if he's a good player. But I've seen 3 different Instagram reels on, obviously, Instagram. I've seen this number 11 that plays defensive back, linebacker, or something for NC State, right? Don't know who he is, what he is. He talks a lot of smack. And all he wants to talk about is running people over. And I'm like, what are you doing? You played Western Carolina. Run them over. You should be running them over. It's like playing the kindergarten team. You should be running them over.
I don't remember what the line for that game was, but they most certainly did not cover. I don't think
they didn't cover. I can't stand this guy. I don't even know him. I've seen 3 videos that consists of 30-second clips, and he wears number 11 for NC State, and he plays in the defensive backfield. And I'd be okay if he gets put out after the second play.
Was it the same guy that said that, the tempo wasn't going to be a problem, that they were going to control it? Or is it somebody else? Because that guy was like a safety. Who said he was going to control it?
It's number 11, if I'm not mistaken. And he had brown curly hair.
I just seen an oppressor that he was doing.
I know he talks a whole lot of smack, and the things that I've seen, he can lay some wood down, but my brother, what do you ain't played Tennessee.
Yeah.
What are you going to do when Holton Stays come off the edge and cold cocks you in the back, defensive backfield? Got you laid out asking for mommy.
You can't tell me. I mean, they talk all the time about ACC, Big Ten. You can't. The size and speed of the SEC ball, you can't keep up.
You're not going to keep up. We are what we are for a reason.
Yeah. Well, people want to come play in the SEC is because you get that NFL experience.
Yeah.
And you have one or two guys here or there in the Big Ten and the ACC that are, could be SEC caliber players, but they don't have what it takes, and that's why they go there.
Yeah. Look, well, it's been out for a while, I believe, but I seen it today. Have you ever seen? I would assume most people that follow college sports have heard of Bussin' with the Boys. It's a Barstool podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen the one they done with Derrick Henry?
I don't think so.
So Derrick Henry's sitting there talking. He's like, I almost went to Tennessee, switched it up, went to Alabama. He was like, and I'll be honest with you, the SEC play is the closest I've ever seen to playing in the NFL. And even then, it's a whole nother animal.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, Will Compton played for Nebraska, and I think Taylor Lewan played for Wisconsin. So they're like, whoa, those are fighting words now, the Big Ten. And he was like, oh, okay. We played Michigan State. It was 38-10. He was like, we also played whatever, 42 to whatever. He was like, it's not the same, man. The SEC is a whole different animal. Whole different animal. So, we're playing it back to here, NC State being the ACC. And, again, if you have a Twitter, I'm sure you've seen the replicated and remade ACC logo that people have changed to take the C and kind of turn it upside down on the bottom of the other C to spell a derogatory 3-letter word, because that's what they are. Clemson got the brakes beat off of them by Georgia. Miami looked good against Florida, but I'm not sure if St. Mary's School of Blind and Deaf couldn't look good against Florida right now. NC State did not look impressive against Western Carolina. Who do they have? I guess you're hanging your hat on Miami, hoping that they can do something. What do you think? What's North Carolina looking like?
Not
Mag, but
not as good.
Yeah,
not as good.
A lot of people is high on the ACC. Of course, I've always been more of a SEC's the best, but
oh yeah,
I've never believed in the ACC. I've always been a Big Ten ACC guy, but Clemson, Georgia. I'll tell you this: Clemson, when they lost to Georgia, that was not a very good loss at all, and that is not going to be their only loss of the season.
I agree.
Not if they play that way.
Yeah, they're going to lose other games.
Florida State will probably have more losses than wins if they cannot get it figured out. NC State struggled against Western Carolina. I anticipate us to beat them. Miami's really their shining glory right now.
I think Miami is, and I picked it before the season. I think Miami's going to be the ACC champion.
A lot of people got them in their top 5, for the playoff stuff. So I can see it. I was this way from the beginning with the SEC and the Big Ten as stacked as they are, plus the other conferences. I was really trying to see how and I guess the weeds are going to sort themselves out here. Florida State's not going to be what they were. Clemson, listen, I love the good Lord above. You hear me? I am a Christian. I would tell anybody in the world that, but I giggled a little hard when I seen a fake video of Dabo saying that they got washed, or he is washed. He was like, but you know what? He said, I'm also washed in the blood. Just poking fun at him.
That man's so corny, though.
He is. So he brings a lot of that on himself.
Oh, yeah.
But Clemson's just not what they were. They're not ever going to be what they were again. I don't think Dabo has lost his touch. I guess maybe it's the recruiting edge or whatever. But and then Florida State, Lord help them. I mean, they're burning Tallahassee to the ground for them this season.
They will. So, have you seen the injury reports?
I have not.
For
No.
the NC State star safety Devin Boykin is out. I think they said he tore his ACL in bowl practices last year, and they thought he would be recovered by then, but he's not made a full recovery yet. So he didn't play last week, and he's not going to play this week either.
I mean, I guess that's only going to help us.
Yeah, and our injury report was we didn't play Ricky Gibson last week or Mike Matthews, and I think both of those were precautionary. I think they're both supposed to be available for.
I'm excited to watch
NC
both
State.
of those guys.
Yeah,
honestly.
me too.
RG3, right? Ricky
Yeah,
Gibson
yep,
third.
yep.
Yeah, RG3 and Matthews, 5-star wide receiver.
Yep.
So both those guys could make an impact this week. I hope they do. What do you? I mean, I guess we've kind of went over their offense. They have a stud receiver. I don't like the guy, but I would say a good quarterback. I mean, week one, whatever you're working out, week one glitches. I mean, it's a new team for him, new plays, all that. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt there. Grayson McCall looked good at UCF. Defense, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure how you justify letting Western Carolina get 21 on you, but it is what it is. It's week one again. They may just been working out a ton of bugs. We may get a whole different NC State team this week, but you know, as what we have, the facts are the facts, and it was 38-21 against an FCS opponent.
Yeah, and it wasn't a pretty.
Not great.
It wasn't a pretty 38 either. It took him a while to get there.
Yeah.
And also, it's not the same Grayson McCall that you saw at Coastal.
No,
I said UCF. He went to Coastal Carolina.
yeah,
You're right.
definitely not the
with
same.
Jamie.
Yeah, Jamie Chadwell.
He's at Liberty now, right?
Yeah.
See the HC?
Yep.
It's a family man there. Not my family, Tiffany's family.
The in-law family.
Yeah. Still family.
Yeah.
So, we've kind of done this every week. And for last season, we're going to do it this season again. We did it last week. So, what's your score prediction for this game? Not to do with our pick segment. What is your official score prediction for this game?
Let's see. The line right now is sitting at.
Earlier, it was at 7.5.
It's sitting at 8 right now.
Okay.
Over under 60.5.
Okay.
I'm gonna call it 42-24.
Okay.
42-24.
I'm gonna
Bryce,
go.
you got one?
I think I'm gonna go way off track here, but I think we put up more than what everybody else is thinking. I think it's gonna be 54-17.
Ooh. Got my juices flowing. I love that.
We give them that free field goal. They squeak 2 by us.
Okay.
But you know, we outlast them till
We're not
till
too
the end.
different, Bryce. I have 45-17.
Okay.
45-17. So I have our defense locking them down. I'm gonna give them a couple just in case we throw in some backups and a free field goal, just for whatever. Yeah, 45. I mean, we're not too far off on offense, so sign me up. 45-17. And here's my reasoning. I'm gonna give you a reason behind that. If he was 26 for 40 against Western Carolina, you can make improvements because they always say the biggest improvement a player will make is between week 1 and week 2.
That's true. That is true.
Mm-hmm.
You also haven't seen our backfield, our defensive backfield. Western Carolina is 2.5 steps below our defensive backfield.
Yeah, I would argue more.
Yeah.
maybe even more. You do a lot of those crossing routes and stuff that you did, a lot of those are going to be picks. I think we just take advantage of them, honestly. I think our defense shines here. I don't even think Nico has to have a great game.
No.
I think he does, but I don't think he has to. What say you?
Yeah, I think we're gonna play our game. We'll control the whole thing. I'm not worried about. I mean, I don't think they obviously have a chance because you don't play the game if they don't. But
Right.
I don't foresee them giving us a whole lot that we can't handle.
Fair enough.
You want to go over last week's picks and
Yeah, we didn't do that last season, so let's dive into who got what right.
okay.
Golly. Well, I missed that one.
Oh, you missed A&M and Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Alex had
big time.
I was with you though on it.
Alex had Texas A&M -3, and that was a loss.
Wow.
You had Kansas State -37 versus UT Martin, and that was a loss.
L.
They won by 35. It was 41-6.
Oh,
And you had
man.
Boston College plus. I can't believe the line was +17. Oh my-
Plus 17, and they won the game.
They won the game.
That's
I
nuts.
wonder what that money line was sitting at.
5. Well, I seen some dude put $200 on it and cashed out for like $4,000.
That's
My
crazy.
gosh.
That's so crazy.
I did see that.
So you're 1 and 2.
1 and 2.
All right, Bryce.
Not a great
You were
call.
LSU -4.5 versus USC. That was a loss.
Big sad.
New Mexico +31 versus Arizona.
I think that hit because I've seen a lot of people say Arizona was garbage. They may have covered 31, but you usually don't have a win by more than or less than 31 and be called garbage.
Do you think they missed that?
No, I think Bryce hit it. I think Arizona missed it. Let me see.
They won by 22. So yeah, you hit that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bryce hit.
And Iowa versus Illinois.
It was 40 something. I missed that. I didn't think they were going to put up 22 points.
I didn't think they
Oh,
could
you're
score
right.
22.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Iowa did beat them pretty bad, didn't they?
All right, Bryce, we're tied 1 and 2 on the season.
Miami -2.5 versus
Yeah,
Florida.
they covered that one.
Yeah, I smoked that one. ETSU and Penn State or App State. Sorry. ETSU and App State. Did I hit that one?
You look
App State 38-10. So they won by 28. Yeah, I did hit that. +34.5. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You sure
And
did.
Penn State, West Virginia, Penn State -7.5.
Penn State 34-12. So you're 3-0.
Yeah, let's do it. Here we go.
Dog.
Here we
You
go.
dirty dog. Well, good. Since you won the last week, you get to go first.
Ooh, that means I get the pick of the litter, don't I?
Yeah, I mean, might as well. You won.
All right. Well,
You just talk to me. Tell me what you want, and I'll type it in.
give me Texas -7.5
You devil.
in the big house.
Hold on. Michigan and Texas is what, -7.5?
Yes.
-7.5.
Hey,
Okay.
I'm taking all the good ones, just so y'all know.
You hold on. Give me just a second. I'm going through. All right, go ahead. All right, what you got?
2 seconds here.
Do it.
Let's see.
Don't touch it.
Let's see. Go ahead and give me Iowa -3 over Iowa State.
-3.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I think that hits.
And I'm on the fence about Kentucky and South Carolina. I don't know if I like that one or not. South Carolina laid an egg. They beat Old Dominion, but it was not a good game. I've got one more that I'm kind of teetering on. If I can find it, I don't even know what the line is for it, but
Who is it?
Alabama in South Florida. Yeah, let's do it. Give me USF
Okay.
plus 30.5.
30.5
0.5.
versus.
Alabama.
That's not a horrible pick. I watched a dude that graduated from USF put a $75 money line bet on USF. If you don't remember, last year Florida only won by, or not Florida, Alabama only won by
It wasn't much.
10,
Wasn't much at all.
7
Yeah.
7-10, I believe.
Yeah. So
In South Florida, this is a home and home.
there's my 3. I'll leave you guys the Kentucky South Carolina bet.
Hit me, Bryce. What you got?
Going off the rails here after talking
go.
ACC talk. I'm Clemson App State. I think I'm gonna take App State on the. There's no way Clemson beats them by 16.5. It's not the way they're playing. I don't think it's going to go their way that they want to. So I'll take App State.
16.5.
Plus 16.5.
It's
a good call. I like that.
My next one is, this is really going to shock you guys. I'm taking Missouri on the 34.5 over Buffalo.
Mizzou 30.5.
34.5.
34.
As much as I don't like Drink, I think he'll put it on them. And let's see.
I'm not a fan of that pick.
Oof. I think they cover 34. I don't like that they cover 34, but I think they do.
My last one is going to be, I'm going to take Louisville at 30 over Jack State.
Okay.
Plus, what, 30?
Mm-hmm.
Versus Jacksonville State. Okay.
Okay. I guess
last but not least, let's hear it.
Yeah, let's see. Last but not least, you took one of my picks, but I'm going to go Oklahoma State minus 7.5 versus Arkansas.
We're going to learn a lot about Arkansas this week.
That's why I'm picking it, because I'm either going to be wrong or right. And that's going to tell me everything. No, well, I mean, yes, that sounded really stupid, but that's going to tell me everything I need to know about that team. You're either going to keep it close, or they're going to be awful, or they're going to, they're either going to keep it close and be better than we thought, or this is going to be a massive blowout.
Listen,
in my
guys,
opinion.
Listen, you listeners. This is the home of the spiciest takes ever. Alex just said that he's either going to win or lose.
That's right.
Now, that's a hot take if I've ever heard one.
And you better not forget it. I'm going to go with my second pick. I'm going to go number 19, Kansas, minus 5.5 versus Illinois.
Okay.
Not CVS, VS.
The Fighting Illini.
The Fighting Illini, I think they get dismantled.
I'm high on Kansas this year. I like that.
I'm not really high on them, I'll be honest with you, but I like the way that's panning out to be. And then let me switch off from top 25 to, I'm going to go, I'm stuck between two. All right, I'm going here. I'm going Cincinnati minus 1.5 versus Pitt. Those are my three.
Hey, can I add a bonus pick?
Yeah, sure.
This one does not count against my record, but I want to let it be known. Nebraska is going to absolutely smash Colorado.
Agreed. I've seen a final score prediction from somebody, one of the guys that does the Pat McAfee show, and he has that one as a final score of, I think it was 38-28 Colorado. I don't see it.
I don't either. Nebraska's favored by 7.5.
I do not see that score happening.
and it's at Nebraska. And I'm pretty high on their true freshman quarterback too. I like that guy, Dylan Raiola.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Georgia
Patrick
commit.
Mahomes Jr.
Yeah,
transferred out to Nebraska.
he didn't transfer. He was a
Went straight out there.
well, he signed.
He
with,
committed to Georgia.
Didn't he sign and then withdrew his letter of intent or something?
I don't know if he ever signed, but I know he was a hard commit to him.
Yeah, maybe that was it. But he was a Georgia commit for a while and then dipped out of there.
Got gone. Hey, he seen all them tickets rolling in. Figured he can't afford them.
Yeah, don't go speeding through there.
Hey, that's the only thing Georgia ain't better at is Georgia State Police.
Listen, the sheriff in that town is.
He don't make enough money.
He's a Florida fan or something. That's all I got to say.
Either that or them boys are truly running rampant down there in cars.
Yeah. All right.
You know they got to be.
How we feeling?
I think between our score predictions, I think that somebody in Vegas is really wrong, or we are really wrong. 7.5 is the spread, but I think we all feel a whole lot more confident than that. At least I do.
I don't even remember what I told you, but I know it was a lot to a little.
That's kind of where I'm at. I think it was 45-17 is where I'm at. 48-17, one of those two. I don't think that Grayson McCall is him. I think they have a really good receiver, but I think our DBs are better. I think our defense is a whole lot better than their offense, so I think we're going to take advantage all over the field.
I was 48-24. So I think we double them up.
I think we blow them out straight up.
Let's do it.
Put it on.
Hey, I'm ready. It's go time, baby.
7:30, ABC prime time. We get Kirk Herbstreit, Reese Davis, Holly. We get in prime time. Hey, this is the game of the week.
I'm ready. I'm
go.
ready.
I'm ready to shut them up. I'll be honest with you. I'm sick and tired of hearing them talk about Nico arrogant. The team is it. Look, boys. I hope you are focused on Nico because when JPJ puts it on you from the side, and you don't even. Grayson McCall will be on a stretcher. You still be crying about Nico.
Oh. All right. All hearts and minds clear?
Well, maybe. We'll find out Saturday.
All right, guys. Hey,
appreciate it.
We appreciate y'all for listening. Hit us up on socials. We're on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it now, at Checkerboard Pod. Most of these episodes go to YouTube, but Spotify, anywhere. Just hit us up.
Hit them up. We're there. We're active. Let's get into it.
All right. See you guys.
See you.